Hey everyone, and welcome to A Question to the Teacher. In this series, we're going to ask and try to answer some of the questions that I wish I would have known to ask when I was starting out teaching. And here's our question for the day.
Hey everyone, let me tell you about one of my favorite activities. It's called Ups and Downs. And this is a communicative activity that gets learners talking about their moods. I usually use this on a Monday morning as the first activity from coming back from a break. But you can also use this after a holiday or a vacation. What I do is I draw a graph on the board, like this one, and I label it my weekend, my holiday, or my vacation. I put my feelings on one side, and I put the time period on the other. And then I draw my real feelings, my ups and my downs, my highs and my lows, my good points and bad points, the things that made me happy and the things that made me sad, the things that made me angry and everything in between. As you can see, my weekend is a roller coaster. What I do is I draw my real weekend, because then it sparks learners' curiosity. They're worried, they're wondering, they're curious about my highlights and my lowlights. As you can see, I tied in some new vocabulary. What was really great? What was really terrible about my weekend? And then I give them some questions that they can ask me. What was the best part of your weekend? What was the worst part of your weekend? What was the most fun part? What was the most boring part? What was the happiest part? What was the saddest part? What surprised you this weekend? What made you angry? What made you bored? What made you sad? And how about you? That's the most important question, because that question keeps the conversation going. Now, what I'll do is I'll let students ask me some of these questions as a practice and provide some elaborative and detailed answers so that they can hear a model conversation, what it should sound like. And then I'll give everybody a piece of paper. On that paper, they'll draw their own weekend. And then I'll give them a minute or two to think about the language they need to explain what happened. From there, I give students 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, however long it takes for this activity to run its course. It could be a 5-minute warm-up, it could be an entire lesson unto itself. If you really want to stretch this activity, something that I recommend doing is having the students talk about the weekend and then write about their partner's weekend. Not only does this stretch out the activity, but it gets students talking and writing in the third person. They'll say, he did this, or she did that. He felt this way, she felt that way. And it gives an opportunity for them to recap what they heard. Then they can switch the papers and have their partners check for accuracy and check to make sure that what they wrote was true. Then they could hand them in to me, or they could switch them up with different partners. The idea is that this activity not only builds fluency, but it also builds rapport amongst students. So after this activity, they're ready to talk with each other because now they've made that personal connection with one another. And next week, they do it with a new partner. And the next week, another, until they meet everybody in the class. And this way, we have a whole community that's being built class by class. I hope you give it a try. And if you like it, let me know how it went. Let me know your highlights and your lowlights. What made you happy and not so much. Thanks a lot.